Earlier today, I had the privilege of interviewing Jason Ons. Jason Ons is a retired bodybuilder, and during the late 90s, early 2000s, Jason Ons was a champion bodybuilder, and he was pretty much a household name in the bodybuilding world. But today, he is the owner and operator of his own supplement company. It's called I Prevail Supplements. Jason Ons uses the best ingredients possible to develop his supplements. He knows what needs to go into his supplements so that people could gain muscle, get leaner, get stronger, and reach their goals. His products are varied. He has really good stuff. So he has a really good pre-workout called Rogue Pro. That's something that I use. He has branched chain amino acids called Amino Impact. He has a recovery drink that I use called Rehab. He has a sleep aid that's really good. It's a sleep aid and recovery, so you could actually build muscle while you're sleeping, and it helps you sleep, and that's called Dream Chaser. And for the older guys who need a little boost in testosterone, he has a natural testosterone booster called Amped Up. And for the ladies, he also has a weight loss product called T2 Rise. Really good. He has T2 Rise, which is stimulant and non-stimulant. He also has bodybuilding gear, hats, t-shirts. So check out his website, www.i-prevailsups.com, and use the discount code SNS10 and tell them Uncle John sent you. All right, Serious and Silliness subscribers, Jessica Connelly is back with another psychology episode, which is always fun between her and I. Jessica Connelly, the licensed therapist, is going to be explaining to us why women have such a problem getting along in groups and why men have no problem getting along in groups whatsoever. I know we're gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a little. We might make some enemies, but screw it. Who cares?
Well, I'm always gonna be team women, so
that's okay. As long as it's the truth, it doesn't matter. I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyway, how you doing?
Great. All is well. Hope everything's going well with you.
Yeah, everything is going pretty good. Just working, staying busy. I don't know if you knew, but I was sick for a little bit. I had the Rona for a little while.
She made her way to you, huh?
Last month. When did I get over it? About 3 weeks ago. Yeah, maybe more, 4 weeks ago, something like that. Whatever. And that sucked. I couldn't go to work for 2 weeks, but I'm over it. I'm back to normal, getting healthy and everything. It was a mild case. It was a mild case. I just felt like I had a head cold,
Yeah.
But I still can't smell or taste anything. So I know it's really sucks.
Nothing.
Yeah, very, very little bit. I took my wife out to dinner last night for her birthday. We went to the Chart House in Weehawken.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I could tell the food is good. I couldn't taste it very well.
And you have to go back again.
That's what I told her. I was like, we got to go back. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. So before we just jump right in, last time we did an episode that seems to be really popular. I actually got a good response from it. And it was called Lying Liars and the Lies They Tell. Well, it turns out that I missed a couple of them. So I want to throw the two that I missed. And then there was something else that people do that are annoying that I want to throw at you. And again, you tell me what the hell's going on therapeutically. All right.
Okay.
So one of the ones that we missed was the Debbie Downer. Like every time you speak to somebody, she's just riddled with bad news.
Victimized.
Constantly. What happened?
It's for attention. It's victim, like he or she is, trying to play the victim.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, poor me.
Yeah.
And if that's the direction that you're going, or if you're just a Debbie Downer and you're just,
But they'll even talk about terrible things in other people's lives.
Yeah.
It's like, do you remember that? Did you ever watch the movie Goodfellas?
I told you I'm terrible with movies.
Yeah, you did. I forgot about that.
I'm better with music.
That's right. Well, you're right about that. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. But there's this one scene where
don't pay attention.
I know, we really don't. One ear and out the other. Boom. there's this one scene where all the wives are hanging out and they're basically having like a spa day and they're in somebody's house and they're doing each other and they're gossiping and talking and whatnot. And one girl's like, "You think you got it bad? Well, did you hear about so and so?" And her husband had a heart attack and dropped dead right on the spot. And then her mother heard about it. His mother heard about it, and she had a heart attack and dropped dead. And they're all like, "Oh my god, that is."
I do actually know that
Yeah.
part. I actually do know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
know that scene, and that's just that goes back to the one up.
Oh
That
yeah,
always goes
yeah,
back to the one up. You
yeah.
always they got a better story than you.
That's right. I have a more traumatic, terrible story than you do. Wow. See, I didn't think you.
Wow, this was early on.
Hey, you're good. You're good. You got a gift, my friend.
Oh boy, another movie quote.
Yeah, that's right. So the other one that I forgot was you'll be talking to somebody and you'll ask them a question and they'll have the answer to the question. And then you'll ask a follow-up question. Well, how come? And they don't know the answer. And instead of saying, "You know what, I really don't know, that's a good question," they make up some crap. They make up something just so they don't say they don't know, even if it's ridiculous.
It's the ego.
Yeah,
That's the ego. It's just a defense mechanism.
that's true. Because I do see more guys. The dramatic one from the Debbie Downer is more of a girl thing, but that one's definitely more of a guy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, you nailed it.
Nailing it.
Yeah, you just yeah. Once again, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. And
One
this
thing I
one,
know, I do know people. That's
what
what.
yeah, you certainly do. And that's why you're like the perfect person to talk about these topics with. Yeah, definitely. So there's this one thing that some people do that drive me crazy. And I don't know how to respond to it when they do it. So you'll be having a conversation and it could be a discussion. It could be a debate. It could not. Usually it happens in like some kind of like calm debate, if you will, a discussion.
Like a devil's advocate kind of deal.
And yeah, and they'll answer will be they'll say something that whether they think is factual or is factual, or whatever, and then they follow up with, "You know that, right?" So let me
That's another defense mechanism.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. So for years back, right, you could tell by the trophies behind me, I used to compete in bodybuilding. So I was talking to my brother-in-law who actually always did powerlifting. He never did bodybuilding, but we would discuss all the things. And I had a trainer, and my trainer was giving me this diet. And he basically told me I could have as many vegetables as long as they're green. I can have as much greens as I want, you know. And I was obviously on a low carbohydrate diet to get in shape for the show. And I told my brother-in-law that, and he goes, carbohydrates are. He goes, I'm sorry. He goes, vegetables are carbohydrate too. You know that, right? You know that, right? And like, how do you answer that? And I'm just like, oh, God, I don't know. Like
I would say which type. I would say which type. I would answer, okay, tell me more. Like I'm more.
See, I should do that. Really, you
More
seem to know
inquisitive.
so much. Yeah, put them on the spot.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how are you going? But it's funny that you say that too, because I feel like even when I was in the gym, and I'm like, oh, like not even trying to spot, try to lose weight, spot training and everything. And they're like, oh, give up this, give up that, give up this. I'm like, I might as well just give up air. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's not what I'm here. Yeah.
Right. So like, but they always say like, but you got to give that up.
Yeah. Like, that, right? I hate that expression. And then like, I usually don't say anything because I don't know what and my answer wants to be like, you're an idiot. Like that's what I want my answer to be. But it's like why did I don't know. Like even if I've seen like guys at work talk about politics, which I never get involved in, and the that right comes out a lot. That right. Like, and I was just like, oh God. And it's just like, but what it almost sounds like you're trying to
convince,
belittle my argument or belittle what's happening with me. Like that, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you trying to?
But even when they say that, they say it with such confidence. Again, that's a
yes.
And they're like, no, but you know that, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Like trying to challenge you, and I understand like that you would say like you would take that as demeaning or like insulting your intelligence. Like, oh yeah, right. Like, but in actual, they just want you to know, like, hey, listen, no, I'm smart too. Trust me, believe me, believe
Yes.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm smart, you know, and
That's how they do it. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're good.
sometimes it's more of an emotion than a factual.
Yeah. 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 I couldn't agree more. And I couldn't agree more. And I do have the answer. I just of why I could eat vegetables and it's still a carbohydrate. You probably know it already since you're a fitness nut.
Not a lot of people know. No.
Oh, okay, okay,
Well, I'm just
okay.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I see you got the guns. You got the guns going. I see it.
Mine are bigger than yours anyway.
Oh, yo, that's. All right, wait, hold on, wait.
Digressing.
Hold on, I can't do it. Hold on. No, mine's terrible. Almost. You're looking good. Yeah.
This one, right?
You're a pisser. Do they even use that word anymore?
They do.
Do they?
The oldies.
Yeah, the oldest use that word now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on to the more controversial topic. And I don't think it's really controversial, to be honest with you. I think it's I'm going to tell the people how you and I came to discuss this topic. So last week I got sucked into watching Jersey Housewives. And because my wife's watch it, and I'm like, what are you watching? But this is how Jersey Housewives goes anytime my wife's not watching it. Like, you're watching this crap again. And then I sit down and 10 minutes in, I'm like, who's that? And why is she mad at her? What's going on? And then my wife has got to tell me everything. And then finally, when I'm asking too many questions, she's like, I can't explain everything to you. All right. You got to watch the whole season. And I'm like, all right, forget it. And I just get reeled in. Right.
Yep. Yes. That's a reality show. All reality shows.
Right. Yeah.
Drama.
So there's a scene where all the guys and girls are at a table and they're like by the beach or by the water or whatever. And the girls are arguing. I don't even remember what the problem was. They're arguing, talking about this one, and you said this and you said that, and blah, blah, blah. And all the guys, one of the guys just goes, how about we go get a drink? And all the guys get up, walk over to the bar, and just leave the girls fighting. Like, they can't even be bothered. And the guys are sitting there drinking, they're just, talking smack, just blah, 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 talking about work and talking about how I can't believe these girls argue all the time. And the girls just continued to argue and fight until one of them left. And then the other girl's like, just the one that left. No, you can't. And it's just this whole drama thing, So then I texted you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that would be a perfect topic, and then you were on board with it. I have never heard of a bachelorette party going smooth.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can contest for my own. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never, a bachelor party, you could it could be like, I've been on bachelor parties where I wasn't even invited to the wedding. Because they're just like, yeah, come on. Like, it doesn't. Like, I crash in their room. I pay part of the room for them. I pay part of liquor, and you know what I mean? I used to do that when we were all getting married in our late 20s, whatnot. And right. Yeah, I've been to and there were people at my bachelor party that I didn't even know. Like, somebody else invited them. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. That would never happen with
but not with girls.
That would never happen. Never in a million years with a girl. Oh, never. Anyway, so I have my own perspective, but I want to hear yours. But mine is more like from an evolutionary perspective, that why guys get along so well and why women are very catty with each other. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You know what? You go first, because I would love to hear that, because it's not always that we're catty. I can't sit there and say that we're always catty. Like,
well, I mean, we're speaking generally, right?
That go on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're speaking generally. I mean, there are guys that are, don't like, okay, so if two guys get into an argument, they deal with it. If they're real men, they deal with it face to face. Like, what's the problem here?
Right.
And they'll usually resolve it with some words. They might be a little pissed off, but a day or two later, it's like nothing happened. And the right thing to do is just, push it to the side. Yeah. Or even if it gets physical, even like when you're young, right? and you're young and it gets physical and you get into a fight, usually after the fight, you kind of respect each other and you kind of shake hands and walk away.
And back when we were growing up,
yes. Yeah. No, today everything is online bullying. Yeah. But even like, blue collar guys and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. Right. Where girls, if they have a fight, and especially if it's physical, they hate each other for the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an adult that like I can actually sit in the room with someone that I don't get along with, or I don't like their morale, or I don't respect some of the decisions that they're making, but that's not my business.
Right.
So I just let them, all right, oh, I can be cordial, you can be respectful, but that's a level of maturity. Now, I've been in places that there's girl A and girl B can't be in the same room.
Yes.
But they're ready to just, because then you have other girls that are sitting there stirring the pot.
Well, that's the thing. Guys don't do that.
Well, guys gossip.
We're speaking generally, right? We're not talking about guys that act like girls. There are guys that act like girls there, and usually they when you're younger, when you're in your 20s, the guys that act like girls usually get punched in the face. But now, when you're older, the guys that act like girls, you just don't associate with them anymore.
Right.
There's definitely guys that do that.
Yeah.
But guys gossip more about regular guys gossip more about the girl they hooked up with, or like something like that, something to that effect, but they kind of, generally speaking, there's no like reputation destruction, they're not talking crap or trying to get the other people against that person,
right,
like girls do, right?
Yeah. I've been in that situation. Like there's so many situations that I've seen personally and professionally. Personally, I've seen, there was a group of girls that they were just very nasty.
Yes.
Anybody nasty that their intentions were to hurt people. Like that was because they were projecting how much insecurity they had about themselves inside, and all whatever trauma or whatever they went through, whether they were bullied in high school or whatever the case was, or they were overweight and they lost weight and, just still had harboring those negative feelings, they were out for blood. Like they they thrived off hurting people.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, whoop, I removed myself because I never liked bullies.
Well, did you see the video I did about the woman that had a OnlyFans account?
No, I didn't. I have to see it.
Yeah, it's 2 videos ago. It was an article. It's a true story. So I did just my perspective on it. And there was a woman who had an OnlyFans account. She was married and she had 3 kids, 8, 10, and 12.
They're in the Catholic school.
Yes.
I did read that article, yeah.
And the moms found out about it and they got the kids thrown out of school. And the way they did it was they actually just printed out the pictures of her and anonymously sent it to the principal and the bishop, and basically wrote a nasty note and got the kids kicked out. So it's like, you got the kids kicked out. So now the kids are embarrassed. And I know when we were younger, if you knew somebody's mother was, a dirty girl, you were ripping into those kids, you were just, and now I guarantee she's making more money than she ever did. Guaranteed the subscriptions went up like that. Guaranteed.
Oh, absolutely. Like you just helped her. Like
absolutely, no question.
That's karma. Yeah. That's all karma that you try to be. These women really try, instead of saying, hey, listen, I don't appreciate the fact that you have an OnlyFans. You're supposed to be a Catholic, whatever, abiding by the Bible, whatever the case may be, that your kids are in the school. You're paying for that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand that either, because I was just like, the family's paying for that. Like, why are you in their business? So I think that's one of the things that really drive, like, why are you in somebody else's business?
Yeah. And it was how the woman found out was one of the husbands were on OnlyFans and saw her, and he was probably
But why was
having,
her husband on OnlyFans?
he was probably treating himself like,
Like a king.
like, he's probably treating himself like an amusement park, right?
Oh, of course.
And but he from the article I read, he told his wife, "Look what I found."
Oh, like look who's on here.
Yeah.
And then blew up his own spot.
Right, but like that's the last thing I said, and I said, lesson learned: just keep your mouth shut and enjoy the fantasy.
There it is.
Yeah.
Why is he gossiping with his wife? So you
Right.
can't even sit there, because sometimes I come home and I'm like, babe, I have to tell you something. And he's like, what happened?
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
do
like,
too. Yeah.
so involved.
Oh yeah.
So involved. But it's like a husband and wife thing.
Yes. Yeah.
But he opened his mouth. What a
He
dumb.
did. So then she must have freaked out because he's pleasing himself to her, right? And his wife is probably, a 2-ton Tessie, and told the other 2-ton Tessie mothers, and they all freaked out. Anyway, that's
just a prime example.
Yeah,
That's a great example, because this woman's minding her business. Let me make some extra cash. I'm on OnlyFans. I'm minding my business.
Right.
And now somebody's minding hers, because basically your husband had an emotional affair with a fantasy.
Yeah.
So
right. There's the jealousy
like,
and the envy, and yeah. But she did put herself out there. Being recognized is a chance that she take. I didn't agree that they should throw the kids out. That's ridiculous.
I think that was very wrong.
Yeah,
and it
but
should not have been published in a paper.
Yeah,
it's probably somebody's aunt that works for the paper, and
who the hell? Yeah, right. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so one quick story. Another thing that I've noticed is that when women physically fight, not when you get older, it's not so much. When you're younger, they can't. When a woman is losing, when a girl, let's not say woman, because to me, a woman is like somebody like yourself. Okay, a woman is like somebody like yourself, somebody like Cheryl, who is a grown woman and conducts herself
I still square up and
okay. Well, I'm certainly not going to mess with you. So, but if you're a girl, right, and you get into a fight, I've noticed that they can't, and somebody loses significantly, they can't lose with dignity. Like two guys could get like if I say something and I cross the line and I get punched in the face, and now I got a bloody nose, my first thought is, wow, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Right? That's not how it works with girls.
No, so, there's all the windmill and the hair.
Yeah.
The windmill. Let me pull the hair.
So funny story. I was in high school. I've told this story a million times. I was in high school and we were on the bus stop. We had just getting out of high school. And there was a girl in our school. Her name was Irene. And she was really big. She had to be 6 foot tall, and she had to be well over 300 pounds. And the kids used to call her movie screen Irene. Yeah, that's how bad.
That's mean.
Very mean, very mean.
Oh.
So anyway, then there was another girl. Actually, her name was Jessica. And she was like the queen bee. Do you know what I mean? She was the pretty one. She was the cheerleader. And all the girls wanted to be around her. She starts picking on movie screen Irene, right? So all the girls are giggling and whatnot. So movie screen Irene starts crying, and she's crying, and she's like going in deeper. She's seeing, she's even going. This is all happening. This happened under like 20 seconds. You know what I mean? It happened like that. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, she goes from crying to furious.
Yeah.
And this girl was so big that she just charged her and grabbed her by the throat with both hands. She was so big and so infuriated that she didn't do it intentionally. She fell on top of her, and she's boom, right? And the girl hits her head in the back, and she's choking her, and she's crying. And she goes, "Why can't you just leave me alone? Why can't you just leave me alone?" And the girl's like, get off me, get off me. And like, she couldn't do anything, right? So finally, the girl composes herself. She lets her go, and she stands up, and she's wiping her eyes. And the girl, Jessica, gets up, pulls her hair, and runs away.
Well, she wanted her lick.
Yeah, but you just got your ass handed to you.
Literally. Literally.
Yeah.
As deserving.
Yeah, right. But
she wanted to get her licking. So that was her only way to get the licking.
A guy would have been like, wow, I just got my ass kicked.
Yeah. I mean, that's so sad to hear that.
I was actually
Doing well.
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't seen her since high school. I have no idea. But I was actually, because that girl Jessica was like, she was a snob. She came from
I
money.
hope she's doing I hope Irina's doing better than Jessica. How about that?
Well, I did see Jessica. Me and my wife went to a comedy club, the Stress Factory, actually, in New Brunswick.
Yes.
And I did see, I went and I told my wife, I was like, I went to high school with that girl. And it was the girl Jessica. And she was with a couple, they were with couples, and she looked the same.
Okay.
And her, I'm assuming it's her husband. Oof. I mean, if round was a shape, he was in shape.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
and they all dress the same. They all have the Italian guys over the age of 40 all dress the same. They have a button shirt down, button down shirt over their jeans with shoes, with the collar open.
Yeah, with the hamburger meat hanging out.
Yeah, right. And they stink of some cologne, that they're wearing. All of them, they all dress the same. And he was just sitting there with his big fat stomach. And I'm like, well, you got to sleep with that.
You're ruthless. My
Yeah.
goodness. You are ruthless.
Yeah. Okay. So my evolutionary perspective of why guys get along so well and why girls don't get along so well.
Okay.
So
go.
In primitive times, men had to hunt and gather in order for the family and themselves and the kids to survive. And men realized that their chances of getting a kill and gathering more food would work better if they worked in together, and if they bonded together, and if they created like plan and strategy, which is why I believe when men speak to each other, that they're very detail oriented. So they created this bond, and it's like, okay, so we have to go out and we have to kill, and they would actually celebrate together. You got to kill. It was like very exciting, see the blood, which is red, which is why I believe that men get sexually aroused from seeing red, which is why women put rouge on and red nails and red lipstick and so on and so forth. So the blood, and then gathering ripe fruit is red, so on and so forth. So, and then they would actually celebrate. And that's kind of, in today's world, that's how men bond. They work together, or maybe they do a hobby together, or they go hunting together. Or with me, they're in the gym together, like training together, like, having each other, pushing each other and so on and so forth.
Right.
Now, the reason I think women have a difficult time getting along with each other is they were left in the village or whatever to help with the children and so on and so forth, and blah, 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 and cook the food when they got home and so on and so forth. But there really wasn't any moral obligation for a man back then to stay with the woman he was with. This was before laws and rules, and maybe you had some advanced societies that had those moral obligations. But if a younger, more attractive woman came along and the more dominant male saw her and he wanted her, he would just take her.
Right.
And make him his new wife, if you will, right? And leave his old wife and her kids to die because he's not providing for them anymore. Right. There was no moral obligation. So I believe that instinctually, that's the reason why women are instinctually jealous of each other. Just like, especially, and I say this joke to the girls in my family, I was like, do you want to know how a woman is beautiful without looking at her? When the other girls are talking crap about her, right?
That's
and what's funny is me and my wife will go out sometimes, and my wife is obviously my type. Okay, if you ever saw my wife, she's very sexy and she's very girly and she's very womanly, and she owns a hair salon, so you can imagine what she looks like, and so on and so forth.
Fabulous.
Yeah, just nails and hair and heels and cleavage and makeup and the cheek fillers and the bow tie, the whole shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, if she sees a girl that looks similar to her, like kind of like the same style, and I'm with her, my wife will be like, look at her, that's terrible. Do I look like that? She looks terrible, because she knows that that's my type.
Right.
Look at her boob job. That's terrible. Her boobs look terrible. Really? And I just, so that's my reasoning. And what was funny was when I was researching this, there was actually a study done, And the study was done like in college. I don't know where it is. I won't look it up. But basically, the study was saying that this study showed like why women. One of the reasons was like they promiscuous women. Like women would hate other promiscuous women, especially when they were around their boyfriends or guy friends or whatnot, because they knew they would be off with the promiscuous
Right.
women.
Right. Well,
So,
it's a competition, but then it's also you have to remember. So if you want to scale it back, I mean, there's just so many levels to this. I
yeah,
mean, we're
absolutely.
starting with, and especially where we are now. Us growing up, what did we have? We had magazines. You know what I mean? So we had TV. What do we have? A lot of Marilyn Monroe and whatever. Just very sexy, very sexualized. Everything has been very sexualized all around.
Mm-hmm.
Now with social media, I feel that
A million times worse.
it is, and it really makes you reconsider. You have people putting in concrete in their ass just to keep up
Yes.
with the Kardashians, and they're
Yes.
dying. Like
Yes. Yes.
there was another woman I think I read, I forget her name. I don't follow her, but it was like trending. And the only reason why I saw it is because she went over to Turkey and they did a botched job on her. But she didn't even need to get any of that work done. So because it just gets to your head,
Mm-hmm.
and especially as a, let's just say if I was a single woman and I've tried everything from dating. I tried Tinder, Bumble, everything, all these social. I've tried regular dating, meeting through friends. Instead of looking within and saying, okay, maybe I'm a little screwed up inside. Let me work on some healing within myself.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, in order to get a man to be attracted, now it's like, well, now I have to go and get, Botox. I gotta go. I have to always look young. I always have to be, keeping up with the Kardashians.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
essentially that's where it is with that. And so then you have that layer. That's the outside layer.
Mm-hmm.
Then how about all the trauma that they've already been through dating, not so good guys, or being in toxic relationships, or
Yes.
even, and let's just keep it as a heterosexual conversation.
Yeah.
And I only say that because if we go into that other topic, I'm
Yeah.
not
I can't judge that. I am.
right, because I'm not there. I'm
Me
not in
neither.
that, but
Yeah.
I know.
That's
And
not my reality. Let some other gay YouTuber do that. I can't
yes,
do
there you go. And
that.
so I mean, think about all the toxic relationships that this woman has already been in, and now she's up against how many other women, and women who have money, or women who have, the great, or even on social media they have the great husband and the kids and the white picket fence, and then behind the scenes he's on OnlyFans, you know
Right.
trying to look at the other girl. So while you're sitting there, you think that you have this kosher home, you know, there's just so many different levels. And even
Mm-hmm.
so, let's just even say, I think the study, I can't even remember the numbers. Please don't quote me. Just how many women were, sexually abused when they were younger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's also another level of
Yeah.
insecurity. And it's with people that they trust, and it just goes. You see what I'm saying? Like it just keeps going down, and just
Right.
keeps like
But
those
how
levels.
does that tie into girls not getting along?
Well, it ties into it because it's always going to be a competition. Who's
Okay.
going to always be the better woman?
Right. Okay.
So now
Okay.
you boiled all that up to a volcano, and
So if
it's
you have a group of 5 girls like going out to dinner, right?
yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna actually admit something, and I shouldn't admit this, but I'm going to. The first season of Mob Wives, I watched the
I
whole thing.
love Bob Wives.
I'll admit to
That was
that. And in my defense, it's because they filmed it everywhere where I grew up, in Brooklyn and Staten Island. Okay. So there was this one, and there's like 3 or 4 of them that were really attractive.
yeah.
And they're out together, and one guy is hitting on one of the most attractive ones. He's talking to her, and one of the not so attractive ones just has a fit. Not about that specifically.
Wants attention,
Yes, she hates the fact that she's getting attention and
and
she's not. So what she was doing is she was just saying, like, to the guy, get away from my friend, villainize the guy, like, stop bothering us. And the girl was just happy to talk to him. So the guy's just like looking at her like, and she just with that just even then it became even worse.
Right.
So well, all I'm trying to say is I agree.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Big Ange. I love Big Ange.
Oh my God, she was the best. She was the
I
only one
know.
that was
You know,
with.
I
She was
actually
the,
went out there to try to go to her bar before she
oh
passed.
really? Oh, what was it?
I try to go there to meet her because I
Yeah,
love her.
my brother is lives in Staten Island, and he was in a bike club, and they used to go there from time to time. It was called the Funky Monkey or something like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, something like
But
that.
yeah, so they're listen, at the end of the day, it's always going to be a competition. And especially sometimes in some of those circles,
Mhm.
um, it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, how, you think it's a happy home, but in fact, they do want someone younger, or they are attracted to someone else, or
Yeah,
there's
that's natural.
right.
That's natural. But here's the thing. Like here's the thing that I think modern women, and I'm not saying you, all right, okay, but I'm gonna give
Things
you,
are changing. Things are changing, and I have one for you. But go ahead.
yeah, modern women. There's a reason why I love my wife and stay with my wife, and that's her feminine side. And when I mean feminine is I don't mean her looking sexy or anything. I'm talking about how nice she makes the house and how she has my family over for dinners, and how when we go to my brother's house, she's helping my sister-in-law, and how she loves to cook, and how she, things like that. And yeah, there's a younger, sexier girl. And with me, it's like, but she's not going to do what my wife does. There's
I
no
agree.
way she's going to do what my wife does.
So you
It's
want to
not,
spend 5 minutes with that, and then
yeah, it's not even, it's
not
not
worth it.
even close.
Right.
It's not, do you know what a woman would have to do to get me to believe my wife? It's like impossible. But today, I think today, especially like the millennial girls,
Yeah.
like I don't think they realize that. I think they think what you say, like they just go on Instagram and they listen to Cardi B, and it's like I just got to be sexy and sex
Dirty and raunchy,
and
and
it's like you
there's no
realize
morale. There's no respect, and it's
nothing.
that
And then
competition.
the only type of guy that you're gonna attract is
Right.
a shit for
Right.
brains, yeah. So anyway, so what did you think about my evolutionary perspective?
So I do agree with that. I do agree. I actually like the fact that you mentioned the red, because I know that, and especially Italian men, even,
Mhm.
like I said, my grandfather is Irish, my grandmother is Italian, and just being in that family, like wearing red dress, wearing leopard, things
Yes.
like that is
Yeah,
very, very
very
appealing.
attractive to men.
Yes,
Yeah. The
yes,
the
red
the
lipstick,
yeah.
red nails.
Yeah, the hunting instinct and the sexual instinct for a man is tightly twined. People don't understand that,
Right,
um, which is why when a man meets a woman and he charms his way into having sex with her, it's so much more fulfilling for him.
right.
Do you know what I
What
mean?
is that? It's not easy. It's just
But
not
no, it's no, and it's like it's not easy hunting a buffalo, right? And that's what they had to do back in the day,
time.
and um if you take away the mental capacity to understand that you need rules and regulations, then you have men that just rape because that's their hunt,
Right,
but they don't understand. They're so messed up for some reason that they just want to go and take it. And
right.
and I'm taking it, and it's and it's like it's really a lot of people don't realize that. And red is I have this joke. I told my wife this. Red is a very men respond sexually to red a lot, and but I don't understand where French manicures come from. I don't know why guys like French manicures. Like that's also sexual. I don't know where that comes from. Like,
Professional,
nothing's white. Nothing's white when you hunt. I don't.
professional.
What?
A natural look, I guess.
I don't know, but usually, the vibrant colors, like, what's funny? It's like when girl, like, right, yes,
I have
vi-
pink on. This is pink.
yeah, vibrant colors show youth and it shows health, and it's like what's
Men are
funny.
visual. Men are
Yes, men are
visual.
very visual,
Right.
and what's funny is, my wife knows that, and I hate if she comes home like a dark blue or black nail polish, and I'm like, oh, that's awful.
Wintertime, honey. That's what you do.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It's wintertime. That's what we do. Dark colors.
I know. It doesn't matter. I don't care though. I don't care. But no, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
But that's why, and we can always digress on this. Like, I feel like we can always, talk about, and there's just so many different avenues of it. But, ultimately it's really, it depends, I guess, the woman. Why are they so catty in a group? Are they all friends? Are they, are they like low key haters? Are they,
well, that's another thing is like, if there is a guy that the guys don't get along with, they just, well, there's a couple of things. If there's a guy that guys don't just get along with, they just don't hang out with him anymore.
Right. That's it.
Right. It's like, okay, I don't like him. I don't like what he said. I'm not hanging out with him anymore. But with women,
loyalty.
Yeah, but it's like, and I would say that to my wife. She would complain about somebody, a friend, and I'm like, well, why don't you just not talk to her anymore? Right. But they can't do that. But, and the, what was, I was going to go somewhere else with this. Oh, here's the other thing. Little things that women consider offensive, men don't even think about with their friends. Right. So like for example, okay, this actually happened to me. If let's say there's a group of ladies there's about, let's say, a group of four, and they're all married, and one of them gets pregnant, and there's four girls, so that one tells two, doesn't tell the third, and then that third girl finds out from one of the other girls that so and so was pregnant. Oh my God, like the world's gonna come to an end. Why didn't she tell her? And oh, holy moly. One of my best friends, and I could actually show you the Instagram pictures, right? One of my best friends is married. We grew up together. We know since we're kids.
Yeah.
And his wife is pregnant. And I saw the pictures of the baby shower, and she's got a stomach, and he never told me. And I could care less. I called him up and congratulated him.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you know what I mean?
It's because it's an emotional thing. That's an emotional connection to that. Like, and especially like with pregnancy. I mean, this is just because we're talking about that.
Yeah.
It's hard for some women, or it's good for, like, or maybe she didn't even want that other person to know because maybe she's had miscarriages or something like that, so she didn't want to.
Don't justify it. Don't justify it. It doesn't have to be pregnant.
I'm not trying to justify it.
It could be. Let me change it to more of a more subtle. Pregnancy is, you're right. Pregnancy is more is a big thing, but something more subtle. Like, there's four girls, three of them go out to dinner with their husbands, right? Mm-hmm. And then one doesn't, and then that girl finds out that the three, oh, mamma mia, holy. Like, I've had friends that went out without me, and like, I'm like, all right, I'll come next time. Like, it doesn't even.
FOMO.
What is it?
FOMO. What
does that mean?
Fear of missing out.
Oh.
FOMO. Okay. Some people have it, some people don't. But FOMO also leads back to, abandonment issues. So while you're sitting there and you always want to be involved, you always need to know control.
Want to hear my evolutionary perspective on abandonment with women?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I think the reason why women are so sensitive to that with abandonment from their friends or family is that when a woman would do something that would aggravate the group and she was ostracized from the group, right? Well, she was dead. She would die. The odds are she couldn't hunt for herself, and she would obviously die. And and what's funny is that men that are extremely manipulative use that instinct for women to control them. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, Charles Manson would take women in that were runaways or that were troubled, and he even called it the Manson family. Come with me and stay with me. And he basically was able, because of that strategy, that manipulation, he was actually able to get them to kill for him. And it's not just that extreme. Pimps do it all the time. They take girls that are from terrible homes or runaways, and they say, come stay with me. Come be part of this. and they literally manipulate them to the point where they will go and sell themselves for money and give all their money to the pimp. And that's how strong that instinct is, that they need to be part of that group, that manipulative men will actually take advantage of.
They need to be loved.
Yes.
They need to be needed.
Yes. So
and just only going to that extreme, they need to be needed. So if you're needed, if you need things, women are going to do it.
Yes.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
But are we going to do it better than the next?
And I'm sorry?
Are we going to do it better than the next?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And, and that person is in more with better, like with the Charles Manson type or the pimp type or whoever it is, yeah, absolutely. 100%. And to me, because manipulation isn't a masculine trait, right? Usually manipulation is a trait with evil men, with extremely evil men, like a pimp or Charles Manson or so on and so forth. And to me, when I call somebody a pimp, to me, that's you are the biggest piece of crap walking the earth, because you're making women go out and do your work for you, but you won't get your hands dirty. So when you ever have somebody that you knew that was married to a woman and she worked and he stayed home?
That's actually becoming more prevalent now.
I know, but just hear me out.
I get it.
And then he's home doing nothing and she's out making all the money, right? To me, you're a pimp and you are a piece of crap. Yeah. Because even if she's working, even if you don't make as much money, you need to be working to be a man. You need to do something to help that relationship to move it along. And when I call somebody a pimp, it doesn't seem that bad, but the definition of pimp to me means you're better off dead.
Right. So that's your perception of it.
Yeah, you're better off dead. To me, there are 3 types of men. You want to hear this?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
So you can tell me 3 types of men. I mean, we could be here for 5 hours.
Yeah, that's another topic. But we're just onto it. So the 3 types of men, to me, obviously, you know what the pimp is, okay? And he's the lowest of the low. Then there is the peasant. And the peasant is the everyday guy. He goes to work, he makes a living, he makes $50,000 a year, he makes $60,000 a year, he's happy driving his Corolla. He's going to be home every day at 3:00 sitting on the couch. He's not going to do much. He's going to be loyal and faithful because he ain't going anywhere because he really doesn't want to do anything else. That's the majority of guys. That's the peasant, right? And all these things could kind of intertwine a little bit. And those are the majority of guys, and those are the average guys, and those are the majority of guys that women end up with. Okay, I call them the peasant because they're the people that have to do the majority of the work, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's the king. But the problem with the king isn't submissive because he's the king all the way around. So he's going to be working 70, 80, 90 hours a week, making $250, $300, $400, $500,000 a year. Mm-hmm. But he wants his partner to be a submissive, feminine woman, home, making the house nice, more of like kind of like a reflection of him, if you will. Do you know what I mean? Like his wife is going to be a reflection of him. Like this is right. So it's going to be more of, this feminine, this beauty, and she has the attitude with it. Right. And a lot of women don't want to deal with that. They don't want to do that. But then you ain't going to get the king.
But that's okay. But just to kind of intertwine that into your topic, that okay, so you just described this woman that she's on this level, and then you have other women who think they're at that level. So you're talking about millennials that don't know how to cook. Let's just say, for example, because I know there's women that don't know how to cook. Right. Don't even know how to clean a bathtub. Like. Right. But how can they get to that level? And that's where the cattiness comes in. Yes. Now their feelings are hurt. They're insecure. They're insecure.
Do you remember Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yes.
Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
All right. So there's the pimp.
Of course you did.
Yeah. There's the pimp, the peasant, which is the majority, and the king is here. And just so people know, I fall right here. Okay, I'm gonna put like a big star where I fall, right below the king. I'm a little better than the peasant, but I'm not a king because my wife has to work. If my wife didn't have to work, I'd be the king.
I can't. You really gave yourself one here, huh?
No, well, I didn't put myself in the king category. I'm not the king. I am on the borderline. I'm on the borderline. I'm on the borderline. Like if I could make myself another $50,000 to $80,000 a year, then I'd be the king. Because then I'd be like, sweetheart, why don't you stay home?
She wouldn't do it.
She probably wouldn't, no. But I would still act like the king. Where's my food, woman?
Make my sandwich.
Yeah, but you know what's great about my wife? She does that anyway. I don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Like I came home from the gym and there's food on the stovetop already, and I'm like, I'll eat it when I'm done. You know.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is why I took her out for her birthday at the Chart House yesterday. You know, blah 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 blah. And this is why she has Gucci bags and red bottom shoes for Christmas and that's all right. The crap women have. You know, women want. You know, you gotta have a good balance. You know, men have to have a good balance. They have to make a living, treat their wives right, but at the same time, you kind of have to be able to have a little backbone.
Yeah.
From time to time, go, no, that's not happening. I'm not going apple picking.
The cattiness that comes out on the other girls is going to come out on you.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said the cattiness with the other girls, it's going to come out on you.
Yeah, but there are times where I just go, no, you could shout and pout and do whatever you want. That's not happening. You know, but most of the time I'm just like, yeah, whatever you want. I don't care, you know. But there are times where I draw the line and I go, no, forget it. That's not happening. You know, and I really think that's the balance. Like you need that. And I think women respect that. They might get angry in the short term because but in the long term, I think they actually respect that.
Yes and no.
Yeah. Well, my answer was yes and no. In the short term, it's no. They get pissed off. But in the long term, I think they respect that. You know?
I'll have to agree with you a little bit.
Yeah. You and we're good. We're right here. You and me. We're
there.
We're good. We're good. Yeah. Jessica, licensed therapist. Our videos are awesome.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate you doing this with me, because I think our video, our last one, got almost 200 views, and that's good for me. Okay, it's good for me. Now there are sometimes I hit a nerve, and I have like 4 videos, but I have like almost 100 videos. I have four videos that skyrocketed, and I have one with 20,000, one with 7,000, one with 34,000, but that's only 4. But the large majority of them range anywhere from 80 views to like 200. I had one when I interviewed DMC, I got over 300. But yours, the one we did together, is almost at 200, which for me is at the higher end. So I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you, and hopefully it'll get even better, you know. And it's really a pleasure doing this. It's fun doing this because I think people, my whole life, the whole reason why I called this thing Serious and Silliness,
right, is
because this is what I wanted. Fun, but you can learn from it too.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And I thank you very much. And we will definitely talk and see when we're going to do the next one.
Got it.
All right.
I'm for it.
All right. Jessica Connelly, have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.